human awareness is shifting, and that's the only evolution that we can truly experience. But it is shifting into a much more positive way that we could ever expect. And with this video we will go on with understanding what truly is happening right now, and what about human awareness, what it truly means, so how the human awareness can truly shift. So let's go on. We have our friend here, right? And he's in shorts because it's summer now, but it doesn't truly matter that much. So we've been talking about third dimension, fourth dimension, and fifth dimension. So firstly, again, to understand, we will get back to our state of being. So our thoughts are creating emotions, and emotions are creating more thoughts. So why emotions are stored in the lower part of our body? Not all emotions, but emotions of survival, the negative emotions, the emotions of anger, the emotions of unworthiness, the emotions of hate and fear, and all the emotions which are causing stress are stored in the lower part of our body. And why is that? Because we are not moving further than third dimension. So what is third dimension? The third dimension is the dimension of space and time. So we are also aware of our body, which is in space and in certain time. This circle, thoughts are creating emotions, and emotions are creating thoughts. And if for a long time we are not changing thoughts and eventually not changing emotions, this circle is creating our state of being. And if we are caught just in third dimension, which means if we are focusing just on our environment, which means what is surrounding us, then we let our environment to control how we think and how we feel. And that was before the great shift. So again, let's put it into a story. So why this is happening? Let's say our friend was kind of sad, but then he found out, oh, if I will buy a new phone I will feel happier. And then he went in a shop, he bought a new phone, and so a thought was, I will buy a new phone so I will be happy. And then he bought a new phone and he experienced the emotions of happiness. He increased his energy from stored emotions to his heart and his head. And he experienced happiness. Yay, amazing. But why we are talking about it? Because he needed to go somewhere at some time to buy something so it can makes him happy. Great, right? So we need to do something to go somewhere so we can be happy. We all know this feeling. But what if we find out that if we design happiness inside our mind and we increase energy inside our body, we will still feel really happy, but we don't need to buy something? Then we move into a whole new level of awareness. Much bigger awareness than here. We don't need to go anywhere. We don't need to do anything, but we will still feel really happy. The question is how we can really do it. How we can really feel happy if we didn't buy anything, if something good didn't happen to us. I will share my story. personal story. So recently I'm living really happy life. I'm happy about myself. I'm happy about what is happening in my reality. I'm happy about how I'm living, about how I'm feeling. But some time ago I was sitting at home and I was not so happy. And then I was thinking, well, when I'm creating I'm happy, when I'm painting I'm happy, when I'm doing this kind of videos I'm happy, when I'm receiving your messages and positive comments I'm happy. But when I'm doing nothing I'm not so happy. So I noticed, well, I need to do something to be happy, which is not so okay for me. So it means that if I'm doing nothing, I'm not happy. If I'm sitting here, I'm not happy. Which means that I need a feedback from my environment so I can feel good about myself. And then I was thinking, well, it means I'm still not present enough. If I think that something outside of me needs to awaken the positive emotion so I can feel happy, then I need to get so present that I will be happy at this moment and I will be still able to create whatever I want. So I will be happy all day long. So at that day, I was sitting at home, I was meditating and I was searching for that present moment and I couldn't find it. So after I started doing things differently, I became more present. So what happened after that? From the moment I wake up till the moment I went to sleep, I wasn't focusing on what I need to do, I wasn't focusing on how I want to feel, I wasn't focusing on what I want to manifest, I was just being present. So when I was walking, I was conscious about walking, when I was eating, I was conscious about eating, when I was filming, I was conscious about filming, I am conscious right now. And what happened was that whole day I've experienced as being truly present and I was truly happy. And at that moment I didn't need anything. So what happened to me at that time? I stepped into the fifth dimension and something else happened. This is my personal story. Something else happened. I've experienced another awakening and I found out what our thoughts are, what our ego is, and how our awareness is really shifting right now, because more people are wondering how we can really change our state of being by not doing anything or not changing anything outside of us. How we can truly change our state of being, because we know that it's possible, because we know so many people that did it. We watched so many videos from the people that did it. We've read so many books from the people that did it, so we know it's possible. The question now is how we can truly do it. And we can truly do it by knowing that it's possible and by being aware of the present moment, because we can't force ourselves into being present. We can't force ourselves into being happy. We can just be and the happiness will arise, because as Buddha said, those who will seek happiness, those will never be happy. Because as soon as you stop searching it, it will appear. And as soon as we stop searching something outside of us to make us happy, we will get present. And when we get present, we step into the fifth dimension. And in fifth dimension, as I mentioned in many of my videos, fifth dimension is the dimension of endless possibilities. The dimension where everything exists at the same time, everything is happening simultaneously. But more we are separating ourselves from here, more we are getting as materialists, because we need to do something, we need to buy something, we need to change something to feel better inside of us. But actually, not changing something outside of us, we need to change something inside of us. We need to become more aware. And that is the shift of awareness which is happening right now. The shift of awareness is that more and more people are becoming aware of this. That we can change our state of being by changing our thoughts. So we are not so much addicted to the things around us. Also, nothing around us can't control us anymore, because we are present. And when we are present, we become masters of manifestation. We step outside of fear. This is the state of fear. Third dimension, that's where we are experiencing fear. When you are truly happy, when you are present, you are not afraid of anything. You know that you can do anything. And you know that all possibilities exist for you. But as soon as you get back here, you are experiencing fear. So the shift of human awareness right now is that we are becoming more aware. More people are talking about it. More books are selling much better at this moment about knowing that, about being aware of that. More people are awakening at this moment. And what it is doing to consciousness. What is consciousness? Let's talk about what is consciousness. So let's say that consciousness, you can see it here. Consciousness needs a body so it can experience itself physically. So let's say consciousness plus body is what we say I am. I will simplify it. So we have a body, we are the consciousness with the physical body, and that's why we can say I am. Without the body, even if the consciousness would say I am, it could not describe itself. So when we are in the body, we can say I am something. So consciousness plus human body creates I am. So I am plus thoughts creates identity. Why is that? Because when we are aware of our body, when we are aware that we are consciousness, and when we have access to the thoughts, we can finally think about the things. And more we are think about something, more we are attaching ourselves to it. And what we are attaching ourselves to it, that's what is creating our identity. So we say, I am this, I'm doing that, I'm doing this, I'm an artist, because I'm sending a lot of my attention to creating art. I will say, I am an artist, if you will, you know how it works. So I am plus thoughts creates identity. So let's go on. Identity plus what we can add. Identity plus more thoughts identity plus more thoughts, because we are thinking more and more and more and more and more, creates ego. That's the birth of an ego. So if we go reverse, ego is when our identity wants more and more and more of what we have and what we don't have. We want more. That's ego. It's nothing wrong with it. The wrong part comes when we get possessed by the ego. When we forgot that we are consciousness, so we think and believe that we are just ego. And at that moment, when we will believe that we are just ego but not consciousness, we will just want more and more and more, but we will never be happy. So let's say we are the package of everything. And what is happening with that awakening that we were talking about? We are going really, really deep now. The third dimension of our awareness was just ego. The third dimension of our awareness was just ego. That's our history. But when we become aware, we also become aware that we are not just our identity. We become more aware that we are not just our identity. Our identity is made out of thoughts, so if we will change thoughts, we will change our identity. How amazing is that? We learned who we truly are. And this is so powerful. This is so powerful. We are getting deep right now. You can see it, right? We are getting deep with this whole concept, but this is so powerful. So let's say fifth dimension. The fourth dimension is in fifth dimension, but the third dimension is separating us from everything, not physically but mentally, consciously. And when we get beyond the third dimension mentally, our awareness shifts. We get more aware. And in fourth dimension, it's not possible to not go further because we will see how amazing life can be, so we will start becoming more conscious about it, more conscious about our identity, from where we are coming from, why we are the way we are. That's awareness. That's when we will become more aware why we are the way we are, who we truly are, why we are thinking the way we are thinking. So that's what will bring us to the enlightenment of who we truly are. We are consciousness inside the human body, so a consciousness which is having a human body experience, and that's really powerful. So that's the whole concept of our awakening. And I think it's not so hard to understand, and still what we can do with this concept, if we understand it or not, I think it's really important to know this, because if we are aware that more people are shifting into the fourth dimension and eventually fifth dimension, it means that collectively a huge shift is happening. And I was talking about that before. But what can truly happen is that collective consciousness will shift as well from this thinking of separation. We will develop more thoughts which will help people to become more aware that we are actually not separated, because we can see that everything is still in the fifth dimension. So we are not separated. We are connected. We are all connected. I'm connected with you and you are connected with me. If you don't believe it, go to research quantum physics and you will see that atoms are communicating with each other, but they are not physically connected. Something else is connecting us, and what scientists, when they were researching it, they found out that there is certain web which everything stands on it, or everything is connected by it. So they called it the divine matrix. And that's what is connecting us. So this is, some scientists are calling it as a certain field of intelligence. And this intelligence can be affected by our thoughts, feelings, and emotions. And somehow, if we can learn to communicate with it, it will help us to bring us more understanding of who we truly are. Also, we can manifest things in our life by learn how to connect with it. But also we will learn that we can manifest anything material we want, but we will still not be happy. Because the whole point is to learn who we truly are, to become more aware of who we truly are, not what we will manifest, but more to learn and understand about ourselves. But what is true is that we deserve much more than we have at this moment. It depends of in which kind of situation you are, but we all deserve infinite amount of love, infinite amount of happiness, infinite amount of abundance. We all deserve it. But it depends, what do you believe that you deserve? Because you will get exactly what you believe that you deserve. That's the trick. But how we can truly communicate with that field of intelligence, the scientists found out, or not say that the scientists found out, we can go back into the history. Our ancient ancestors already knew about it, that the trick is in human emotions and this strong belief that we hold inside our heart. So every time when we think about, let's say, about something we want, if we can increase the emotions as we already have it, we will communicate with that field, and this field will bring it to us in a form of manifestation. And that's how our ancient ancestors were working with healing. They were working with calling the rain, for example, and things like that. So we are much more powerful than we've been told. And that's another thing that is shifting right now, because we are becoming more aware of our true power. So it's, like I said, another shift in human awareness, because we've been told that we are powerless. We've been told that when something is wrong, we need to go somewhere or we need to buy something. But it's not true. The science is showing us, our ancient ancestors knew that, and if we connect with our heart, we always get the same answer, that all the power, all the intelligence, everything is already within us, because we are not separated from the field. We are not separated from God. We are not separated from the universe. We are the universe. So everything is already within us, because we are consciousness. Consciousness is the universe. Consciousness is this intelligence field, or field of intelligence, the divine matrix. That's consciousness. Consciousness plus body is who we truly are. And then when we add thoughts, it creates our identity. When identity adds more thoughts and more thoughts, it creates a certain force which we call ego. It's like we are magnetically want more and more and more. And when ego forgets about that we are consciousness, that's when we fall into a trap of third dimension. And this, again, this huge awakening which is happening right now is this awareness, the shift of human awareness. So this is it. We went really deep today with this video, and I'm sending you lots of blessings and love, my friends. And see you soon with a new lesson. Have an amazing time.